One of the most interesting things in life is that we all have the same 24 hours, but some are more successful than others. What makes the difference? We all have the same resources, but the outcomes are different. We are not being paid for the time we spend. We are paid for the value we add. The biggest challenge in life is, how do we add value to our lives? To add value to your life, one of the most important things to do is to pursue personal effectiveness. And I'm going to share with you the 12 elements of personal effectiveness. Personal effectiveness is your ability to achieve the desired outcome using limited resources, time, and energy. Some of the most limited resources in this world are time, money, and energy. How do you minimize these limited things and achieve great things? You have young people achieving more success than old people. Somebody might live 70 years, but might not have achieved much as a 25-year-old. The difference is in effectiveness. If you want to be successful in life, the first target is personal effectiveness. Efficiency. How do you achieve more in less? How do you achieve more in a short time it takes other people? In a shorter time it takes other people to achieve it. If it takes 1 hour to do something, how do you make it happen to you in 30 minutes? This way you're going to improve your personal growth, your professional success, and you have fulfillment. And now we're going to take you through these 12 elements of personal effectiveness. For you to be successful and to have personal effectiveness, the first thing you need to do in your life is to set a clear purpose. So number one is set clear purpose. What is purpose? A lot of people mistaken motivation as, or rather goals, as purpose. Goals are not purpose. I always like to give the story of one of my business class students who walked into my class, and I asked him what was his purpose for being in my class. And that's the perfect story to illustrate the definition of purpose. One day, one of my students walked into the classroom, and I asked him, "Why are you here?" He said he was here for the grade. And I asked him, "Why are you here? Why do you want the grade?" He said, "Because he won the certificate." "Why do you want the certificate?" He said, "He wants to get promoted." "Why do you want to get promoted?" He said, "Because he wants to get more money." And I asked him, "Why do you want money?" He said, "Because he wants to buy his mother a car and a house." There is a big difference between buying his mother a car and a house and the grade he gets in my class. But they are related, because without the grade he will not get the certificate. Without the certificate he will not get promoted. If he cannot get promoted, he will not get the money. If he does not get the money, he cannot buy the car and the house for his mother. So goals are the staircase, are the steps toward your purpose. So his mother's car, his mother's house are his purpose. And I told him that anytime you walked into this classroom, the first thing you need to think of is your mother's car and your mother's house. You either pay attention and your mother gets the house, get the car, or you don't pay attention and she loses them all. If you change your perspective to now looking at your purpose, not your goal, you realize that you are putting more energy and attention to what you are doing, and they make more meaning, and you can see the connection of the dots. So set clear purpose for your life. You can set clear purpose for your personal life, for your social life, for your professional life. Because without purpose, we cannot have a baseline to say whether you are successful or not. Because for you to manage everything, the first thing you need to do is to measure it. If you cannot measure success, then you cannot manage success. The easiest way to manage your success is to identify your purpose. If you know your purpose, then you can say, how far are you getting closer to your purpose? If you are moving closer to your purpose, then you are successful. If you are not getting closer to your purpose, then you are not successful. So I want you to set clear purpose for your life and ask yourself every time, what I'm doing right now, is it linked to my final purpose? If it is not, then stop what you are doing right now. Every time, whatever you are doing, ask yourself, is this thing that I'm doing right now helping me getting closer to my purpose? A lot of people take money as their purpose, but money is not a purpose. Money is just a means to an end. It has never been the end itself. So young people, don't chase money, chase purpose. When you chase purpose, the money will follow you. So set clear purpose. You cannot begin life without a purpose. That is why even God, when He created us, He said, this is your purpose. The good creation was made for a purpose. So you also, in your life, you should have your purpose. A man without a purpose is just like a car without an engine. It cannot go. It cannot progress. So the first thing you need to do, sometimes you might be making so much effort, but you're not seeing progress because you don't have a purpose. So task yourself. The first thing you need to do when you walk out of this hall is that I want to sit down and define my purpose in personal life, in professional life, and in social life. Number 2, for you to be effective and successful in life, you need to learn the skills of prioritization. It's not everything that you must do. Some things are meant to be deleted. You want to do them, but you are not going to do them. They are important, but they are not as important as other things. You need to know what to prioritize on daily basis and in your life, because your life is a composition of the daily activities you do. You win the day, you win your life. Because if you target every day, those days becomes your life. Every day ask yourself, what is my most important thing today? Prioritize that, achieve that. You realize that most of the times, difficult things are the most important things. Don't shun away from difficulty. If you are chasing and doing difficult things, you are going to be the most successful person, because everyone shuns away from difficulty and importance. Some things are difficult, some things are easy. Some things are important and some things are not important. So I want you to draw a matrix. Here it says difficult, and under you say easy, and on the vertical column you say important and not important. When you wake up in the day, you have 2 choices. You can follow my style. Normally when I wake up in the morning, I start with the most difficult tasks. I start with the most difficult and important tasks. Why? Because if I can overcome difficult tasks, the small task becomes easy. If I can push a mountain, then lifting a small sand is easy. Or you can be like one of my students who she said, she would rather start with the easy and important things to encourage her to want to build more, because she could see the success she has built. Because success breeds success. When you achieve success, you are likely to achieve more success, because you are incentivizing yourself, you are rewarding yourself, you are happy, you've seen what you have covered, and then you want to do more. You either start with the difficult and important things, or start with simple and important tasks. But never do difficult and not important. And anything that is not important and could be easy, you can delegate it. Let someone do it for you. You need to learn the skills of delegation. There are so many things that you are not meant to do them, but to identify people around you that have the power, the skills to do these things. Number 3, I want you to avoid procrastination and distractions. There is no way you can be successful if what you do is delay tasks, activities, projects, studies, degree programs, courses. You delay everything. This is the time for you to do it, but you are not doing it because you are waiting for the next right time to do it. You keep delaying things and life will not wait for you. And I'm going to give you 3 hacks to avoid procrastination. Procrastination is you want to do something but you are not doing it. Oh, tomorrow I'm going to do it. Tomorrow arrived, you are not doing it. I will do it next tomorrow. Next tomorrow arrived, but you are not doing it. You keep delaying the task. Effective people don't delay tasks. So I'm going to give you quickly 3 hacks to avoid procrastination. If you find yourself delaying things that you are supposed to do these 3 things. The first thing you need to do is to schedule it. Anything that you think is difficult, you can't do it, you have been suspending it, you've been delaying it, the first thing you need to do about it, schedule it. Anything that is scheduled will be done. This workshop was scheduled, and that's why by the grace of God, it's happening. One of my students told me, he said, "Sir, I'm going to be a millionaire at the age of 25. He scheduled it. And now the boy is doing very well. He said, I will have my first 50 million naira at the age of 25. At that time, he was just barely 20 years. He scheduled when to be a millionaire. Anything that is scheduled is going to happen by the grace of God. But do your part by scheduling it. So any task that you are delaying, tell yourself that I'm going to do it so date, so time. When the time comes, you have to do it. That's number 1. Number 2, the next thing you need to do to avoid procrastination is chunk the activity, or rather chunk the task. Chunking is spelled as CHUNK, meaning that I want you to divide the task into pieces. You don't want to look at the task as a big task. For example, you want to write a speech. You don't want to sit down and write the whole speech at once. The first thing you need to do is, I want to start with the introduction, and then the body, and then the conclusion, and then researches to support whatever you are adding. So now you chunk the project into pieces so that they become tiny tasks instead of this big intimidating task. That's chunking. The next one is start from the beginning. Anything you start from the beginning, you are likely to finish it. There is this psychological effect called Zeigarnik effect. Zeigarnik effect is a psychological effect where the brain would like to remember the things that you've started that you have not finished. Anything you started and you have not finished it, the brain will keep thinking about it and will not rest until you finish it. So start from the beginning, no matter how difficult it is. If you want to become a millionaire in your life, start from the beginning. You're likely to finish it. If you want to become a millionaire in your life, you want to have your first 50 million in next year, target 1 million in January, 2 million in February. You are chunking your ambition and you are starting from the beginning. Avoid distractions. I will tell you more about distractions in this presentation. And I want you to apply the principles of time blocking. There is no way, which is number 3 now, time blocking strategy. There is no way you can be personally effective person if you don't have time management. One of the best recommended time management strategy is called time blocking. You block your hours, you block your time. When the time arrives, you do nothing but that thing that you said you're going to do at that time. So block every hour. The moment it's 9 o'clock, I'm going to start reading books. When the 9 o'clock arrives, you must do it. You block that 9 o'clock. Whatever you are doing, you must stop it and do it. The next one, we are going to number 4, right? We are going to number 5. That means you are following. Number 5, I want you to do discipline and self-control. Discipline and self-control. I always tell you, I don't want you to be a disciplinarian or to be a disciplined person in your life. Don't be so disciplined in your life. But I want you to be disciplined in doing one positive behavior. Pick one behavior and be disciplined in doing that behavior. And if you can build the behavior and then pick the next behavior and build the discipline in doing this behavior, then you are likely to be successful. So the moment you say you want to be a serious person in your life, disciplined person in your life, it's hard, it's difficult. But pick one behavior, pick one action, and be disciplined in doing it. When you say you want to do something, do it. Stick to your words, stick to your promise. That's also part of discipline. But I want to share with you the one most important predictor of success is self-control. Nobody has ever been successful without self-control. Even our parents, Prophet Adam and Hawa, or the Eve, they were sent out of paradise. Why? Because they lost self-control. And that is why even God said, those that will go to hellfire are the people who lost their self-control. So the measure of success in hereafter and in this life is self-control. You want to do it, but it's bad. You are tempted, but it's going to harm you. But how do you stop yourself from the temptation? Your ability to resist temptation is self-control. It's a major determinant of success. There was a research that was conducted with children when they were presented with sweet and chocolate, and they were told, if you eat it now, you will not have an extra. But if you remain patient and you don't eat it now, you will have an extra. Those children that resisted the temptation to eat the sweet and did not eat the sweet and waited for the extra sweet, when they were chased 40 years after in their lives, they were found to be more successful than the ones that ate their sweet, because they could not delay gratification. So your ability to delay gratification is a major determinant of your success. I give you 10,000 today, or you wait for 15,000 in February. Which one? If you can delay and say, okay, let me hold on and wait for February and have 5,000 extra, you are now practicing your willpower. Anytime you practice willpower is like a fuel in your car. Anytime you use it, it drains. But with rejuvenation, with resting, you refill your willpower tank. So always have a rest when you practice willpower, because it's not easy. Sometimes Shaitan and our evil mind will ask us to do bad things. We resist it. We don't want to do it because it's harmful. The more you do that, the more you are draining your willpower. So relax, sleep, rest, and then you rejuvenate, you refill your willpower. I'm going to talk more about willpower as well. The next thing we're going to talk about is number what? Number 6 is continuous learning. Continuous learning. You cannot be successful if you don't learn daily. Some people say, Hey, Prof, I'm watching YouTube videos. I'm learning. I'm listening to podcasts. I'm learning. Yes, you are. But I want you to do this most important learning. It's called reading. Reading. If you read, you are doing active learning. But when you are watching YouTube, you are doing passive learning, because you are not processing the information, you are receiving the information. But when you are reading, you are taking the words, you are translating them, you are creating the image, and you are enhancing your imagination skills. And intelligence equals to imagination. Any person you see who is intelligent and smart, he has nothing but imagination. So you can practice your imagination through reading. That's why readers are smart and intelligent people. So when you want to learn new thing, then just go to YouTube. Read. Learn new things from books. Unfortunately, you have enemies. These enemies are disguised as your friends. And unfortunately, most of these enemies in our lives, they were born out of advancement. But they limit our progress. Even in an Indian movie, you have the actor, you have the boss, right? In your life, you are the actor of your life. But every actor must have a boss. وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَا لِكُلِّ نَبِيٍّ عَدُوًّا مِنَ الْمُجْرِمِينَ. Every person has an enemy. You too, you have an enemy. But your enemy is not a physical person. Your enemy sometimes could be digital technology. And that's why I'm going to share with you 3 ways in which technology is your enemy. Technology, though born out of advancement, is very good, but it limits you in these 3 ways. Number 1, I call it digital deluge. Digital deluge. Digital deluge is because of technology. Now we have all the information around the world available in our fingertips. Overload of information. There's so many things that you want to learn. You can read, you can watch, you can listen. They're all available on your phone, on your computer. But which one do you do? This is overwhelming and add to your stress. So technology has led us to have overload of information beyond our processing capacity at a time. That's number 1. Number 2 is called digital dementia. Digital dementia is when 10 people went to the Casino City restaurant and they bought a food and the bill was 100,000 naira, and they were asked to equally contribute to pay the bill. How much each of them will contribute? 10,000, right? But do you know what they've done? They brought out their calculator and they were typing 100,000 divided by 10 people just to get the answer, the simple answer. What your brain can do, now you're asking your brain not to do it. You're asking a computer to do it for you. And the theory of use states that anything that you don't use, you lose it. You either use your brain or you lose your brain. The simple arithmetics of 100,000 divided by 10, you cannot ask your brain to do it, then your brain loses its power. Anything you don't use, you lose it. Even if it is currency, you keep money in your house for 5 years, 10 years, you don't use it, you lose that money. You have a cloth, you kept it and you're not using it, you lose that cloth. Anything you don't use, you lose. If you don't use your brain, you lose a brain. The brain only thrives through complexity. The more you challenge the brain, the bigger the brain becomes. And the brain, once stretched, it will never shrink back. So stretch your brain by challenging it. Give it a very difficult task. The task she cannot do, ask the brain to do it. That's digital dementia. And then the last one is digital distractions. You are here in this conference, some people are searching internet, are looking at TikTok, Instagram. Just putting your phone on the table, though you are not using it, a portion of your brain is thinking about the phone. So when you are at an important conference like this, switch off your phone, put it in the pocket, and pay attention. And I want to caution you about what I call the social media trap. Because the brain likes fun. The brain likes beautiful things and entertaining things. You brought out your phone, you swipe one video, and you like it. The brain will start dancing inside. Say, wow, we are enjoying this video. Where is it coming from? Oh, we are looking at the internet. Okay, let's do more of it because we are happy. The brain will tell you to keep doing it. Because the moment you're happy, there is a dopamine that is being secreted into your brain. It's a hormone called dopamine, a happy dopamine. That's when the brain is happy, dopamine is secreted. And then the brain will keep dancing. We are happy. What are we doing? We are swiping video on internet. Okay, let's do more. Again, swipe, next video, you are happy. Very easy and cheap happiness. And the brain now will say, keep doing it. Whenever you stop doing it, the brain will say, hey, what did you just stop doing? We were happy, but you just stopped doing what you are doing that made us happy. Because the dopamine that came through easy and cheap things will easily go easily and cheaply. Anything that you earn easy and cheap goes easy and cheap. Don't make your dopamine very easy and cheap. Make your dopamine expensive. Because the dopamine will drain immediately you stop swiping your videos. So you become trapped and doing it again and again to keep flooding the brain with the dopamine. And then you waste hours doing nothing while other people are doing valuable things. So be careful about social media. Make your dopamine comes from doing projects, achieving milestone in your life. Some people could not even wait for 1 month project for them to be happy. After this conference, we are all going to be happy. How much time, thought, energy was put into this. At the end, we get dopamine. We are happy. This dopamine comes from difficult tasks. Make sure the dopamine comes from difficulties, not from easy things. Dopamine that comes from difficult things is the dopamine that stays longer. The next one, number what? Which number are we doing? We are going to number 7. Number 7 is get feedback. Feedback. You cannot be successful. You cannot be the best. You cannot be perfect. You always have your weaknesses. Ask people to tell you, how am I performing? How am I doing? Tell me negative feedback. I mean constructive feedback, even though negative. And I want you to practice what I call the 360-degree evaluation, where you pick some certain trait in your life, evaluate yourself on these traits, and ask other people around your life to assess you on these traits, and see if there's a gap between what you think of yourself and what other people think of you. Which one are we more of? Am I more of what I think of myself or what you think of me? Which one? Are we more of ourselves or what other people think of us? The second one is what other people think of us. Let me give you a story of one of the CEOs. One of her staff was telling me that she was very mean and difficult woman. She thought she was on top of the world. She was the best and simplest and the kindest human being. But all her subordinates thought she was rude, mean, and bad person. But to her, she thought she was the best. Because leaders, when you go to certain stages, people are afraid to tell you you are quacks. They will not tell you are negativities because of your high position. They will always tell you, you are doing well. While you have done bad, and they are holding negative feeling, but they will not tell you. And then you build on that and think, oh, you are the best. You are wrongly informed, or rather, you are misinformed. So here is the catch. What I want you to do is assess yourself and say, okay, I scored 90% in kindness. And you ask all the people around you, your spouses, your friends, your colleagues, everyone around you, ask them, how do you think, how will you rate me in kindness? If you rated yourself 90% and the rest of people rated you 20%, which one is correct? 20 or 90? 20%. So if you see disparity, then you need to work on that. But if there is consistency, you rated yourself 90 and other people rated you 90, then you are doing well. But if there's a big difference between your judgment and the judgment of other people, no matter how high you think of yourself in that area, you need to bridge the gap. Introvert, they might think they're the best public speakers, they can speak well, but other people think they are not outspoken. But deep inside themselves, they think they are great speakers. So always, every end of the year, conduct 360-degree evaluation to know the gap, areas where you are going to work on. You don't just go to 2025 without thinking of which gap to fill. You are just walking around the street with your fingers crossed. You don't do that. You have to fill the gaps to grow. That's number 7. Let's go to number 8. Adaptability to difficult circumstances with positive mindset. No matter the economy, no matter the government, be optimistic, because the government might not change, the economy might not change, but the only thing that can change is you, and you can change your outcome. When coronavirus came, people thought that's the bad thing that ever happened to humanity. But since the coronavirus, educational system has transformed. We are now being exposed to digital education. That's growth. I have a very difficult boss. Whenever I see him, I don't see him as a negative person. I see him as a trainer. I see him as somebody who will train me on my emotional intelligence. When you go to the gym, the coach in the gym will push you, will give you heavy weight and ask you to lift it. It's painful. Though painful, but you are getting benefits. What benefit? You are getting muscle growth. You are benefiting. So also, these angry people and negative people, when they are angry to you, look at them as your coach. They're training you how to control your emotion. If they insult you, abuse you, criticize you, embrace it. I say, okay, let me accept this as a practice, to practice my emotional intelligence. Always receive life with positive mindset. Let's move to the next one. Number what? 9, emotional intelligence. I think 2 years ago, we spent the whole day talking about emotional intelligence, but we cannot overemphasize the importance of emotional intelligence, because many young people, they are what I call the emotional time bombs. They are just waiting for the slightest provocation and they will explode. And that is why when event happen, you don't react. There was a time I regretted in my life forever when I slapped someone. And immediately I regretted it. What happened to me at that time was what I call cognitive hijack. Cognitive hijack is when you react. It was not your conscience, it was not your head, but it was your emotion that was acting. So when event happen, people react. Event, reaction, event, reaction, event, reaction. I want you to do one thing. When event happen, don't react. Do something in between. I call intercept. Intercept is where you withdraw yourself. Allow time. Go home. Be like a bystander, like somebody who is watching by the side and watching at the scenario. How will you react? What are the possible reactions? And what are the outcomes of every reaction? And then make the right choice. Then you react. Part of emotional intelligence is you being aware of your feeling and the feeling of other people. Not just your feeling. You've done something. What have made the other person feel about it? Look at people's faces. I can look at their faces and know whether you are happy right now or not. Be conscious of people's faces and emotions and flex. And also be aware when you know that you have cognitive hijack. Control yourself. Self-control is a major determinant of success. The next one, number 10. Number 10 is Communication skills. Also, we talk about communication. Was it last year? No, 2 years ago. One of the most important communication skills is listening. Communication is not about talking, but listening. A lot of people say, I want to speak, I want to be heard. One of the habits of highly effective people is that they seek to understand than to be understood. When you walk into the room, don't try to make other people understand you, to hear you, but be a listener, want to hear from people. So I don't have to talk about public communication skills because you guys have done it last 2 years, but you can also hone your skills in this area through other readings. The next thing is number 11. Number 11 is personal health and well-being. Personal health and well-being. If you die today, the world will not stop. If you die today, some people will still go and do party. You are responsible for your health. You are responsible for your well-being. All these goals will not happen if you are not healthy, if you don't have a good health. And I'm going to give you 3 things that I want you to focus in 2025 to help you live longer and healthier. 3 things it makes you become healthier and improve your well-being. Number 1 is sleep. They said, Prof, I've been sleeping. I work overnight and I sleep in the morning. I say, no, you are not sleeping. You are just passing out. There's a difference between sleeping and passing out. Sleep has a benefit only during its biological hours. If you don't sleep during the biological hours of the sleep, you don't get the benefit of the sleep. How long is enough sleep? An average people like us adults here, the minimal hours of sleep is 6 hours. The maximum is 10 hours. If you sleep 10 hours above, you are now weakening your brain, because your brain does not want to be lazy. The brain wants difficulty and complexity. And you don't want to sleep less than 6 hours because your brain needs the consolidation, the sanitation, the tissue repair, which anything less than 6 hours is not enough for the brain. When you sleep, your brain does not sleep. When you are asleep, that is when the brain is most active. That is the time when the brain will start cleaning itself of the toxic molecules that we are the byproduct of what you are doing right now. Listening, talking, seeing, and all these things are now piling up in your brain as toxic molecules. But when you sleep, the brain will clean them. It's just like sanitation. When you sleep, that's when consolidation of knowledge happens. All these things you are hearing, you are going to forget 48% of it in the next. You are going to forget 80% of it in the next 48 hours. But whatever you are going to retain is subject of repetition, review, and sleep. Because it's only when you sleep that this consolidation of information in your brain gets cemented. When you learn new skill, it does not get cemented into the brain unless during your sleep. Count your sleep based on cycles. Every sleep cycle is 90 minutes. I'm recommending you to do at least 4 to 5 cycles of sleep. So count your sleep based on cycles. The first cycle is where you are half awake, half asleep. You go to the second part of the cycle, 90 minutes, when your body temperature is going down and you are getting the body resting. But when you go to the third and the fourth cycle of your sleep, that is when consolidation, sanitation, and the cementing of information happen in your brain, and the tissue repair. Sometimes idan ka sha wahala har fiska kai ta fada, amma idan kai bacci sai ta dan ciko. So that ciko one happens in the third and the fourth part of the sleep cycle. So that is a state that you don't want to wake up. And then you go to the REM cycle, which is rapid eye movement sleep cycle. That is when the most inspiring and empowering dreams happen. And I want you in 2025 to always listen to your dreams. God will not come down and give you like wahi, revelation, or talk to you. But God can send you signal and instructions and ideas in your dream. When you wake up in the morning, then open your eyes, close your eyes, remember what dreams you had, write them down. Have a dream book by your bed, write all your dreams. You are going to see consistency sometimes in your dreams. Many brilliant ideas and innovations we are seeing in dreams. Are you now exploring this window of your willpower, of your subconscious mind, that is most empowering mind? She can only talk to you through your dreams. So sleep is the most important thing in your life. It is the most productive thing in your life. The most important productive thing that you can do today is adequate sleep. Some people say, I have a program tomorrow, I have a project tomorrow, I have a defense tomorrow, and I will not sleep tonight. What you are saying is, I don't want to succeed in that thing tomorrow. The easiest and the best way to prepare for the next big project is to sleep well a night before the event. If you have a big exam, sleep well before the exam. Your brain is relaxed. Otherwise, you forget it. The number 2 thing that you can do in 2025 to live healthier and live longer is the food you eat. Be careful. We kill ourselves with the food we eat. Most foods are poisons. You can see young man but looking so old. It's nothing but the food we eat. The food makes us look older and weaker and sicker. So be careful of the food you eat, because you can be a young person by age, but your brain can be old. The brain does not age with the body. You can see an old man but with a young brain, and you can see a young man with an old brain. What's the difference? The food we eat. Most diseases, cancer, diabetes, all these chronic diseases are from the food we eat. And I want you to change your diet. Sugar is dangerous. Minimize it. Junk food are bad. Processed food, avoid it. Fried food, limit it. No pain, no gain. If what you do are easy things, then you don't amount to success. I want you to change your diet into mostly green vegetables. I know the economy. How hard is it? Some food are very difficult. You can try fish, you can try eggs, you can try broccoli, blueberries, avocados, walnuts. These are, but if you don't have it, you can just have it once in a week, twice in a week, right? And most importantly, take a lot of water. Water is important. Even if you are moody, you are not happy, take a lot of water. If you have headache, don't take paracetamol. Drink water. If you have mental block, ideas are not coming, take water. Take a lot of water. It helps with your brain and your heart. Anything that's good for the heart is good for the brain. So focus on the food you eat. And then the last thing under health and well-being is exercise. So do these 3 things. We talk about sleep, we talk about food, now exercise. When was the last time, ask yourself, you exercised at least 1 hour in a day? Exercise is life. You don't do exercise, you don't have life. Because when you do exercise, that's what I call novelty. Novelty is a creation of new neurons in your brain. Your brain always generates new neurons inside it. But how does that happen? Through novelty. When you move, your brain groups. I don't have much time. I have my guests waiting here. So I'm going to run you very fast now. So just do exercise is very important. Then build decision-making skills. Decision-making skills. Some of you might have watched me when I traveled to Qatar this month. Yeah. And the only thing I taught was about decision making. And I want you to study about paired comparison technique for decision making. A lot of young people, they have difficulty in making choice of careers, even choice in relationships. Someone once asked me, he said, "Prof, I have 3 girlfriends and I want to marry. I don't know which ones to pick." And I said, don't look at them as 3 of them. Look at them as pairs. Let's say we have Lady A, Lady B, Lady C. Now you take A versus B. You look at them. You neglect C. Look at A and B. Which one will you pick? If you pick B, then B versus C. And then see whether which one you pick. So don't look at things in their whole. Look at them in pairs. That means in 2 pieces. And then compare and pick and use the one you pick against the next one. That paired comparison. Even if it is a career, even if it is a journey, anything you want to do, whether a project, which project to undertake, use paired comparison. You can use also decision-making metrics, which is also a bit complex, where this man, young man, I advised him and I told him, I said, if you want to choose a wife, out of these 3, you follow this process. And I said, what do you value the most? Maybe he likes intelligence. He likes someone who is neat and tidy. He likes someone who can cook well. He likes someone from his tribe. He likes someone who is religious. Mention every criteria you like in choosing your spouse. But I want you to rank these criteria. What is the weighted value of each criteria? And maybe intelligence, for me, of course, you know, I'm going to give intelligence 50%. So maybe 50%. Maybe ability to cook, maybe 5%. Or maybe clean and tidy, maybe 10%. Beauty, a lot of young people will choose beauty. Maybe beauty, you give it 2%. Beauty is not important. But somebody said, Kai. But if you can get that, that's a bonus. But the other things I must, so you can now do your ranking and give a weight to everything. I might give beauty 2%, he might give beauty 60%. And then go for each girl, now score her in beauty. Out of 100, what did she score? Maybe she got 70. So then 70 multiplied by the weight of beauty. If you give beauty 2%, then she got 70. 70 multiplied by 2%. That's her weighted average score in this criteria. And then you go across all other criteria and you sum. The lady with the highest number in the weighted value of your score is the one you're going to marry. Subject your choice to systematic thinking. Remove your heart in making decision. No emotion in making decision. A lot of people marry because of what they feel. But emotions blind us. We don't see what is in the brain. Always allow the brain. When I play badminton, one of my coaches said, he said, Prof, play with your head, not with your heart. So in life, play with your head, not with your heart. Inna nafsa la ammaratun bisu. In most cases, your heart is telling you the bad choice, but the head will always tell you this is the right thing. If you watch the old cartoon, when a young man has 2 angels, one positive white angel on the right arm and the negative on the left arm. This one is always telling you to do the bad thing. This one is saying, no, don't do it. Mostly this one is the heart. This one is the head. Conscience always tells you the truth. Master decision-making skills. So many courses you can go online and search skills of decision-making. Mostly, making wrong decisions affect our lives. Decision-making is a skill. Don't just make a decision like that. Learn your skills. That's number what? 12. But I don't want you to do all these things at once. Pick the ones that you want to start doing. Build on it. Because practice makes what? Practice makes what? Very good. If you don't say progress, I walk away. Because 4 years is not Novi today. 4 years don't work. Nobody carry go, right? So 4 years I've been teaching you that practice makes progress. You don't aim for perfection. Never aim for perfection, because perfection is relative. But when you aim for progress, you reward yourself. You look at the progress you achieve. So I don't talk more about that. But before I go down, one of the things that I mentioned even in the promotional video of this event, I talk about the more you go, the higher you go in life, the harder, the steeper the price. When you want to grow at lower level, the price you have to pay for the growth, for the elevation is small. But when you start climbing the ladder of success, the price becomes harder and even more expensive. Your ability to pay the price to climb to the ladder is determined by two things: your personal development and your purpose. These are the things are just like your ATM to pay to climb to the next ladder of your success. A lot of people, they want success in their mind. They say, I want to be successful, but they're not willing to pay the price. You want to be a millionaire, and then they tell you what to do to be a millionaire. They say, read one book in a week. Say, no, I can't do it. You're not willing to pay for the price. Pay the price and you climb to the next stage. A lot of people just envision what they want to do, but they're not willing to pay the price. How powerful is your purpose determines your ability to pay for the next ladder of success. Because if your motivation, if your why is strong, the how becomes easy. How do I climb the ladder of success? Is it easy or difficult? How easy or difficult it is determined by how powerful your purpose is. And that's why today is talking about purpose, purpose, and purpose. One of the reasons why a lot of people are not successful is because of two things. One, fear of failure, and doubt and self-insecurity. I want you to embrace chances of failure. A lot of people, once they see that there's a chance of failure, they avoid it. They want 100% assurance of success before they do it. No. Even if there are chances of you failing, go and do it, because failure teaches you lessons. I'm not asking you to embrace and prepare for failure, but people who are not afraid to fail are the ones that win, because they are willing to either win or fail and learn from their failure. For every failure, there's a lesson. More than 90% of our limitations are as a result of fear of failure. Don't doubt yourself. You have the capacity. You can do it. You are worth the opportunity, the growth, the success that you aspire. One day, a successful person was driving. He saw someone begging on the streets with dirty clothes. And he looked closer. He said, that's my classmate when we were in primary school. He parked his car, went closer. He confirmed that was my friend. He asked him, what happened to you? He said, I lost my job. I lost my family. I'm homeless. I'm begging on the street now. They talked. They reminisced about their beautiful memory when they were children. And this successful person brought out a check, 100 million naira. He said, go and start your life. Go and start a new life. Take 100 million and start a new life. This beggar picked the check, went to the bank, and stood in front of the bank. He looked at the bank, looked at his body, how dirty and unclean he looks. He started doubting himself. Would they believe I'm the one with this much money? Would they believe that I didn't steal this check? What if they think I'm a scammer? What if they don't accept me? He was overwhelmed with doubt and self-insecurity, and he tore the check. He went back begging on the street. A day after, the successful person came back and he said, what are you doing here? Didn't I just give you 100 million naira check to start your life? He said, I thought they would not accept me. Opportunity given to him, he rejected it because he did not believe he was worth the check. Life is not about absence of opportunity. is the absence of your ability to think you was those opportunities. So anytime opportunity comes, believe in yourself. Self-confidence. He said, the bank don't look at your body. The bank look at my signature. Once it's genuine, they will give you your money. He was overwhelmed with guilt, and there is no second chance. He lost all the money and continued begging on the streets. That's how a lot of people live. Opportunities absconded. So don't let opportunity let you go. Let go by just having your self-insecurity. Because let me give you one little secret that work for everyone is the word I call I will. I will. Anything you tell yourself, I will do it. I will become this. Of course, you add inshallah. Use that will. I call it willpower as a very plentiful power. But we don't use it. Someone has 1 trillion naira in his bank account, but he's withdrawing 1 naira every day. 1 naira, 1 naira, and he wants to buy so many things. That's your willpower. Withdraw a lot of checks from your willpower. Withdraw a lot of money from your willpower so that you can buy all the things you want to buy in life. Life is worthwhile only if you try. Give it a shot. If you learn from yourself, learn from other people. If you stay, be patient. Learn from a farmer. Farmer will plant a seed, will have to keep going back to the farm, monitor the farm, weed the farm, supervise the farm. That is your life. Stay and share. Share knowledge, share resources, share gifts. But sometimes you make mistakes. Admit your mistakes to yourself. Don't be arrogant to say, I'm always good. Reflect and admit. Have a council of your conscience where you sit by yourself with the counsel of your conscience and reflect on everything you've done in your life in this year and see what mistakes you've made. Reflect and admit it to yourself and make commitment to change in 2025. In 2025, one of my coaches said, you should embrace these 7 things. He said, hard work. I'm not going to spend much time on it, but you can just take the headings. He said, hard work. Most young people think life is easy. Yes, it could be easy, but sometimes things come the hard way. Hard work. Patience. You don't want to be rich today, tomorrow. You don't want to be like someone today, tomorrow. It took them years to achieve it. Be patient. Also, consistency. Whatever you become is subject of your consistency. What you do continuously is what you become. Sacrifice. There is no way your 2025 will be successful if you don't sacrifice. If you don't sacrifice for what you want becomes the sacrifice. Sacrifice. No sacrifice, no results. Discipline. I talked to you about discipline. Pick one habit, do it. Self-confidence. Believe in yourself. Self-confidence is not when you want everyone to like you. It's when you are okay when no one likes you. You believe in yourself. And always number 6 or number 7 is positive mindset. Always be positive. Think well about people. Think negative. Last year we talked about how to get rid of envy and anger. Whenever you think negative of someone, your challenge is to think of 10 more positive things about that person. Never be found in gossip or negative talk against someone. When you feel hatred towards someone, get closer to that someone. Identify positive things about that person and see those positive things. We are more good than bad because life is opportunity. 2 people face the same circumstances. One of them came out richer, the other poorer. It's just like a story of 2 business people who own shops. In the morning, it was so cold outside. One of them opened the window and saw that it was very cold outside. He went back to the bed and said, nobody will come out today because it's already cold. Customers will not come out. He went to the bed and slept. The other person, when he opened the window, he said, wow, it's so cold today. Now it's my chance to go and open my shop. because other shop owners will not open today. The same experience, the same environment, condition, but action, reaction are different. So it's not about what happened to you, but what you do with what happened to you that determines whether you are successful in 2025 or not. Opportunity can only be harnessed if you have a purpose. You put someone in a position, he will abscond that position because he does not have a purpose. You give somebody a leadership position, he does not have a purpose, he misuse it. Opportunity is not what determines your success, but your purpose. Somebody is in the mosque, but they were gisting, they were chatting. Look at the opportunity. You're in the presence of God, but you are doing other things because you didn't tap into your purpose. The other person is reading Quran throughout the time. Opportunity the same, but how you utilize it are different. So today you have a choice to make, to change. To change is to improve, because if you don't change, I can predict your 2025 by just looking at your 2024. Because your 2024 or your 2025 will be the same as 2025. Your 2025 will be the same as 2024 if you don't change today. But the choice is yours if you want to change. If you change today, your income will change, your happiness will change, your relationship will change. Change comes from change. External change comes from internal change. The economy will not change. The government will not change. Only you can change. You might complain about the economy, you might complain about the government, but someone is thriving. Someone is achieving on the same economy you are complaining. So it all begins with purpose. And I want you to imagine purpose in two perspectives. Imagine you achieved your purpose. How do you feel? And imagine you didn't achieve your purpose. How do you feel? Because feeling is what gives you the energy to start. Without feeling, no energy. Without energy, no action. A lot of people have ideas in their head, but their hands are not doing it. Why? Because of the middle hedge, the heart. So for action to happen, the head, the heart, the hand must be in the same place. But people have the ideas in their head, but their hands are not doing it because the heart is missing. The heart is emotion. And emotions come from purpose. When you imagine the opposite of achieving your purpose. I want you to imagine, whenever it's in the morning, imagine you are in paradise. How do you feel? You feel happy and you want to get to the paradise, you want to go to the mosque. Or you've imagined that you are in hellfire, and because you want to avoid that hellfire, you now start going to the mosque. So that feeling is what made you to now raise and leave that bed and go to the mosque. So feeling. For every activity, you must have a purpose for it. But purpose is a skill, so you have to know how to design your purpose. But one of the most important things that feed the purpose is mindset. The father of purpose is called mindset. Thomas Edison, who invented fluorescent lights, who invented camera, who invented pictures, invented videos, improved telegraph, improved telephone. These decades of genius, one of the genius human being ever, Thomas Edison. When he was young, his teacher gave him a letter and said, give this letter to your mother, only your mother. When the mother received the letter, she started crying, and she read to Thomas Edison. She said, your son Thomas is a genius. This school is too small for a genius kid like Thomas. I want you to take him to a better class, to a better school, or teach him yourself. And the mother folded the letter and kept it. Years passed by. Thomas Edison became one of the greatest inventors in the world. He invented fluorescent. He invented all this animation. One day he was looking at the family old things. He saw a folded letter in a corner of a desk drawer. He picked it, he opened. He read. He read the exact contents of the letter. It read, Your son, Thomas, is an adult child. He cannot think clearly. He's a confused child. He has no capacity to study in this school. This school is bigger than Thomas, so teach him yourself. He realized that his mother read the wrong content of the letter. He cried for days, and he picked his diary. He said Thomas Edison is an adult child who cannot think clearly, but with the bravest and heroic mother, he became the greatest genius of the century. The power of mindset. If she told him the exact content of that letter, Thomas Edison would not have been Thomas Edison. He would have lost hope. He would have experienced what I call learned helplessness. The opposite of this story of feeding people with the wrong mindset is my famous and favorite story of the eagle. When a man was walking on the street, he saw the egg of an eagle. He picked that egg and put it in the net of a hen. The hen has some other eggs. The hen came and hatched all her eggs, including the eagle egg. The hen didn't know she was hatching an eagle egg. The eagle was born with other chickens. This eagle, baby eagle, was growing up with other chickens. He did everything that chickens do. He would poke in the dirt, he would clock around, he would fly 1 feet above the ground and come down. This eagle believed that he was a chicken. He didn't know that he was an eagle, because the environment, the people around him, they were all chickens. So he became chicken. One day he looked up at the sky and he saw a majestic bird flying above the sky, even blocking the sun, flying majestically. And he asked, what kind of bird is that? His chicken colleagues said, that's the eagle, the master of the sky, the king of the birds. You cannot be like him. So let us just go and poke in the dirt. This eagle lived and died as chicken. He didn't fly. He didn't become the master of the sky. He didn't become the king of the bird because of his mindset that says he's a chicken. What happened to you in 2025? It begins with your mindset. But you can always trick your brain, because your brain does not differentiate what you imagine and what is real. You can empower yourself through imagining things, through imagining powers, and your brain will believe it. And lastly, I want to introduce you to the principles of Dharma. Dharma is a Sanskrit word that means your ability to live fulfilling life, happy life. Dharma is spelled as D-H-A-R-M-A. Not the Dharma in this town, but there's H after the D. The Dharma has two components. There is Varna and there is Seva. Varna is Kamanda Hausani, V-A-R-N-A, and Seva is S-E-V-A. Varna is your passion and your skills. When these two come together, they become your talents. So your passion, your purpose in life must be aligned with your skills and your passion, which is Varna. I'm going to ask you some quiz question at the end. So Varna equals to passion plus skills. Whenever passion meets skills, it becomes talent. But what about the Seva? Seva is two things too. Seva is your ability to identify the needs of the people and your ability to selflessly serve other people. You live in Katsina, study Katsina town. Katsina town is lacking something. Let me come and solve this problem, fix this problem. Now you are doing Seva. Even if you are paid for it, you are still doing Seva. You are becoming useful. Selflessly serving other people is charity. You are also doing Seva. So for you to live a Dharma life, is when you aligning your purpose with your Varna and your Seva. A person who is happy, fulfilled, is the one who is living his Dharma life. That his purpose, his actions are in line with his skills, his passion, the needs of the people, and serving other people. These are successful people. Some people will call me and say, I want to start a business. I want to contest election. I say, why? Is it in line with your Dharma? If it is not, don't do it. Just because other people are doing it, that does not mean you have to do it. Identify your Dharma. It's better to do your Dharma imperfectly than to do other people's Dharmas perfectly. If you don't live your Dharma, you will live other people's Dharma. Andre Agassi, he's 8 times Grand Slam winner of tennis. His father forced him to play tennis. He didn't like it. He became 8 times champion of tennis. But upon his retirement, he announced to the world, he shocked the world. He said he hated tennis. He didn't like tennis. It was my father that forced me to do it. So I was living my father's Dharma, not my Dharma. Now it's time for me now to live my Dharma life. And that is why now he's using all his money to help children, provide them with basic needs, and open schools for them. That makes him happier. When he was playing tennis, he was angry, he was sad, he was not happy. But you can be like Andre. Andre will do other people's Dharma to prepare himself to live his Dharma later on. A person who is not living his Dharma is like a fish out of water. No matter the accolades, the wealth you give, the money you give to fish, fish will never be happy. Fish will ask you, put me back to the water. Do you want to be a fish out of water? If you are a fish out of water, you are living someone's Dharma. Ask yourself, what is my passion? What is my skill? What can I do to be useful in society? What can I do to selflessly help other people? That is your Dharma. In 2025, don't focus on your weaknesses. Focus more on your strength. But you have to be careful in defining your areas of weaknesses. A lot of people mistaken inexperience as as weaknesses. For example, it's not that you have weaknesses in this area, it's only that you don't have experience. And there are certain areas you cannot accept for you to have weaknesses in those areas. For example, emotional intelligence. No way you should have weaknesses in emotional intelligence. And always ask yourself, do the matrix of passion, not passion, skill and not skill. Anything that you have passion and skill in doing it, do it. But you have passion for it, you don't have a skill, then that passion will help you get the skills. You don't have a passion, you have a skill for it. Now bring your passion into the skills. There are so many stories here I'm summarizing, but anything that you don't have passion for it, you don't have a skill for it, don't do it. Just delete it. So assess yourself, reflect yourself. What is the most valuable things in life? Who is the most successful person in life? Align your purpose with that person's. What is your strength? What is your passion? What is your experience? How can you serve other people? What will you be remembered for if you die? And set clear vision. You can even write it down. Personal, social, professional purpose. Like for me, I write my passion, my vision. My vision is to empower young people to achieve their potential through education and mentorship. And I always read that. And I want to live by that. What is your purpose? You can even break it down into goals. This is what makes me happy doing, because I'm pushing toward my purpose. You also need to be open and seek guidance. Share your purpose with your expert, with your mentors, and seek guidance from them. Get a character, somebody that you want to be like. This person might not even be alive. Somebody might be elsewhere in the world. And be open and evolving. When you set a purpose in January, it does not mean this purpose will continue to be there forever. Opportunities, challenges arise. Adjust your purpose as you move along. Do some tiny projects and see what resonates the most. And that way you can now practice your purpose. And last is when setting your goals in 2025, don't set a lower goals, set higher goals. If I set my goals within my hand stretch, it's not empowering. But when I set my goals at the ceiling, my hand cannot reach it. That means I have to fly or get a ladder to stretch myself to touch my goal. So set a stretching goal. Any person you see, they are not based on what they are in terms of position or money, but they are what they are because of what they become. So set a goal not to achieve the goal, but to become something in the process of achieving that goal. So the juice, the benefits, the value is in what you became in achieving your goal. One of my coaches was told by his mentor and asked him to set a goal to be a millionaire. He said, it sounds nice to be a millionaire. He said, no, not just to spend money to impress people, but I want you to set a goal to be a millionaire just so that for you to do that, you have to be certain things. You have to learn new skills. You have to get new knowledge. You have to be braver. You have to have time management. You have to be punctual. You have to do so many things to achieve that goal of being a millionaire. And when you get that $1 million or $1 million, I want you to dash it to someone else. Because that money is not important. What's most important is what you have become in the process of becoming that millionaire. So in achieving your goal, don't look at the goal, but what have you become? If I become a professor, I didn't just become professor. Don't look at me as the professor. What have I become in the process of becoming the professor? I have to be a researcher. I have to be a thinker. I have to be a listener. I have to do so many. These are things that are more valuable than just a professor. So what you become is more important than what you have or the position you have. If you see a governor, you see a politician, politically elected people, before they get that to that position, they have to be certain things. One of the things they have to be is maybe patient, listeners, empathetic, sympathizers. Or sometimes political leaders have to be devious, manipulators. What are you becoming? So in job you are doing right now, what are you becoming? That's the most important question. The study that you are doing now, what are you becoming? Not just the degree, but who are you becoming? So the value is not in what you get, but what you become. So don't look at the money, look at the value. Anything that you want to do in life is not about the money. This workshop, a lot of money was spent, but we didn't look at the money. We look at the value, because the value is what matters. Some people cannot even buy a book worth 10,000 naira because they look at the money, they don't look at the value. So in 2025, base your decision based on value, not on the money. You can allow yourself to be bankrupt so that you can travel to attend a workshop. I have Abubakar here. He traveled all the way from Bauchi just to attend this workshop. We have Musa Saleh. Why is Musa Saleh? He came all the way from, why is Musa? He came all the way from Gombe State. They traveled over the night just to be here. Who has come from far, distant places? Raise your hand. Which state? Zamfara State. Let's clap for him. Which state? From Sokoto State. Wow. Which state? Okay, two of you Sokoto. Which state, sir? Jigawa State. Which state? All the way from Abuja. Let's clap for him. Which state? Cross River State. Wow, this is unbelievable. Really? You got to speak to us after this one. Let's clap for him once more. All the way from Cross River. And you see, you can learn from him because he invested so much in this. And I noticed that he was keenly paying attention because of the investment. So if you are not willing to invest money in your personal development, you will never grow. Because if you put so much investment, you won't take the best out of it. But if everything comes to you free, You don't value it. And today, we have the greatest gift for the year for you. Not just someone who dream about success, but someone who lived the success. Someone who achieved success not only in northern Nigeria, not only in Nigeria, not only in Africa, but the entire world. The package of knowledge that is before us today is something that when we unpack, is something that is enough for us for life. That there is no need for any workshop after today. We end it today. No more annual workshop. If you hear the story of Mr. Jelani Aliyu, you didn't need further motivation. You didn't need further workshop. You didn't need mentors. He is all these things in one. What a great opportunity to have him here. And on behalf of all the people of Katsina State and all the people seated here and our partners in this workshop, I want to use this moment to thank my mentor as well, my friend, Mr. Jelani Aliyu to Katsina State. There is a lady called Hawa. Is Hawa in this hall? Hawa Muhammad. She talked to me. She wants to meet Jelani. Hawa is here? Okay, she's not here. Mr. Jelani has inspired a lot of young men and women for years. Now you have him here to do whatever you want to do with him. So he's here for you. In just a moment, we're going to have an introduction of Mr. Jelani, and then we give him the chance to speak to us freely for some moments, and then we open the floor for discussion, for you to ask any question you want to ask to Mr. Jelani. I want to thank you so much, sir, for agreeing to come here. I know it has not been easy to bring such kind of personality to Katsina State. We thank you so much for your humility. Thank you so much, and I want you to make best use of this moment. Remember, one moment can change your life. One story, one sentence can change your life. Remember, it's not about the opportunity. It's what you do with the opportunity. Thank you so much. God bless you.